Hey Canada, welcome back onto the couch. This is The Hangout. I'm Akil Augustine, and this is your home for Talkin' Hoops. Once again, we're back at it. The playoffs are live this year. It's been an amazing run, so let's welcome in our guest, of course, my homegirl at Sports Nation. Nadine, thank you so much for coming out.
No problem. You know I'm here all the time if you need me to.
Okay,
you know,
fine. We'll
call me.
We'll keep you on deck.
Okay.
Internet sensation, local Batman. Generally one of my favorite people on YouTube. That is that dude McFly, Marlon Palmer. What up, though?
You good?
Always. And then you know this guy from producing the Raptors broadcast, know him and love him. He is a stalwart on the Hangout. He holds down the left end. He's my left defensive end. That is Dan Gladman. Let's get into it, gentlemen. Let's recap the first round of the NBA playoffs. Probably the best first round I've ever had a chance to witness. We had tons of overtime games, 5 Game 7s. We'll look back at the brackets and how we got to this point, of course. The quarterfinals are over. We move on to the conference semifinals. Looking at the Eastern Conference, we saw a very surprising Atlanta Hawks team push the Pacers to the limit. We were completely disappointed in what Chicago was able to do against the upstart Washington Wizards. Charlotte did what we expected them to do and not do much. And Toronto and Brooklyn was an epic series. Your guys, what did you take away from the first round of the Eastern Conference?
I thought it was fun, man. I thought it had a college feel to it, like a March Madness.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of nail biting, like down
Anybody
to the wire. Anyone can win, and like you couldn't halfway through each series, you couldn't tell who was gonna win really because it was just back and forth, back and forth.
I'm thankful for that because that made it real interesting. Nadine, your thoughts on the Western Conference side of things? I had Dallas taking out San Antonio. I also had Portland taking out Houston, so I looked pretty good there. And I was wrong on that Golden State pick, and so was my producer, Sweets, who has to wear short shorts later.
Well, as you know, I'm a Laker fan, so I'm so happy that Houston is out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Dwight Howard.
Down with Dwight.
But overall, West, East, I just think, like, since the East was such a bad conference, no one expected that side of the bracket to even do well. And even with the West, we're used to kind of seeing, like, the OKCs do well, and it's kind of like, whoa, maybe they're not as good as we thought they were. Yeah. So I just think overall, it's just been, no, they're not.
They're not as good as
You're a hater. You're a hater. You're a hater.
Okay, all right.
They sure are.
Okay, let's get into it. Okay, OKC, LAC, the Clippers and the Thunder. I have that marked down as probably going to be the best series to watch. But then you saw Game 1, and you were kind of shell-shocked. The Thunder completely looked disorganized. They were not ready to compete against this Clippers team, who I thought would have a little bit of trouble matching up with the superstar power. So Dan, first up, what was your prediction going into this series?
Well, I have OKC winning the series in 6 or 7 games, and I think the Clippers kind of came into that game a little bit playing with house money after everything they had to go through.
The emotional energy.
The emotional energy of it, and they kind of came in, let's just play our game. We don't have anything to lose tonight. And Oklahoma City was still kind of battered and bruised from the Memphis series. So I'm not surprised to see that the Clippers won Game 1, and you knew OKC was going to win Game 2 after Durant got the trophy.
Okay, exactly. I was going to say, because after Game 1, you're worried about these Thunder, and then the NBA drops a little award in Kevin Durant's lap, and then Game 2 is completely different. So Marlon, do you think the timing was right for the presentation of the MVP trophy for these Thunder?
I think the timing was perfect. I don't think the NBA is staged. But I think a lot of the playoffs this year have been, like, even more so than past years, very emotion driven. Like you saw the Toronto-Brooklyn series, that's very emotion driven. Like he said, the Clippers came off a high from the Donald Sterling case and whatnot, and they came in with a resolve. OKC came in second game, and they had that emotion behind them.
Okay, so Nadine, I'll throw this one at you then. Okay, to me, maybe the emotional energy changed, but normally in the playoffs, Dan, we talk about adjustments between Game 1 and Game 2. What was the adjustment that was made, or was it just a different approach that changed for the Thunder? Because it's 2 completely different games.
Well, I think one of the biggest adjustments they made was how to defend Blake Griffin. Because when it comes, you know, Serge Ibaka, Nick Collison, like, they clogged up the post, and basically Blake Griffin couldn't do anything, and he kind of showed us that maybe he can't shoot because all he could settle for was long-range jumpers. And Lob City ain't there no more, so what are you going to do, Blake Griffin? And I think they exposed that.
Yeah, there's a big difference with Blake Griffin hitting the jumper and not, and what this Clippers team can do. Dad, I'll get at you with this one. All year long, we hear the conversation. Russell Westbrook needs to take a step back and let Kevin Durant do his thing in order for these Oklahoma City Thunder to reach the highest of their potential. Game 1, the Thunder played through Kevin Durant, let him do his thing. Game 2, we saw Russell Westbrook kind of pick up some of the slack and be a dominant player himself. So what do you prefer better? Aggressive Russell or deferring Russell?
Aggressive.
Yeah?
We've talked about this on the show, this whole playoffs already, and sometimes I text you, Russ, okay? Durant is the second best player in the league. He's the MVP of the league this year, but you can't win the NBA Finals by yourself. Westbrook is a top 5 player in the league. He has to be unleashed. Yes, sometimes he takes too many shots, but if we look at last night, it's sinking in a little bit that he can be a shoot-first point guard while also maybe trying to make his teammates a little bit better. But if he's not aggressive and contributing completely, OKC's got no shot, but I think he will be.
Okay, now, another thing I want to talk about, of course, the best in the biz, Kevin Durant, may have given the best speech in the biz. Walking away from that MVP acceptance speech, Marlon, what were your takeaways, other than the fact that, man, he's got love for Russell Westbrook?
I thought it was like the beginning to a great Disney movie getting written. Like, it was just.
Wait, no. Wait, what was the movie he did? Thunderstruck? Oh, that was not a great movie.
No, but he did a really good speech. Like, I've never seen anyone single out every single player and say, you do this for me, you do this for me. Like, and it just showed the brotherhood that they have on that team and like how close they've gotten. Some of those players have only been there for a couple weeks, a couple months, and yet he's like, yo, man, you know, I love
Steven Adams, man, I know your story, man.
Karan Butler was crying.
Karan
Like,
Butler
yo,
he's an emotional guy.
He's even there.
For everything. But yeah, it was a really good speech. I love what he did for his mom. That was just amazing. It showed his character and how much he's grown.
I sent the link to my mom.
Hey,
I thought it was one of the most amazing
ahead of Mother's
press
Day.
conferences I've ever seen.
Mother's Day, something we all should be sharing.
That's what
with Mom Dukes.
I'm sending that to my mom, actually.
Along with
Everything
the
he
gift.
said.
Along with the gift.
That's me.
All right, listen, still more to break down on Canada's home for talking hoops. This is The Hangout, and we still got to talk about a whole host of things. My favorite thing coming up, though, we get to talk about the Golden State Warriors head coaching position. Yeesh. Who wants to work for these guys?
Made us believe. You kept us off the street, put clothes on our backs, food on the table. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.